When medical manager came in and bought the network group, we had 58 employees, and they went down to 19.
Okay.
I actually made the cut.
Nice.
Being that, field engineers,
Yeah.
So I actually made the cut. And it was very hard for me to come here and watch all of my friends get laid off.
Right.
And I wasn't sure about the stability. So I took a different job.
Was that in the 90s or?
That was in 1999.
Yeah.
No,
so
2000, after 2000.
Just after the bubble.
Right.
Kinda,
I took another job, and I was building cath lab systems.
What is that?
A cath lab is where you go in and they shoot the dye in the artery of your leg, and then they do the dye to see where the blockage is.
So you're building the software for that?
I was building the digital part.
Okay.
The x-rays are analog.
Right.
And what we were doing is we were actually putting up a parallel system that was recording the analog system.
Oh, wow.
And it was turning it into digital, which allowed us to give the patient their cath results, the moving images, on a DVD.
Oh, nice. Okay.
But it was exhausting.
Well, did you have a lot of HIPAA compliance issues with that, or was that a self-contained system?
It really wasn't even
This
anything.
is pre-cloud kind of days.
Yeah. So I had one local customer.
Okay.
One. Atlanta Cardiology. And I loved going there because it was local. I didn't have to.
Right.
I traveled all over the country. And it was a very difficult job because the patient comes first.
Right.
So when they're done seeing patients, you come in and you build the cath lab system, and then you're back at 5:30 a.m. to make sure it works.
Right.
And if something needs to be tweaked, you go at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So it just became exhausting.
Yeah,
I loved the company I worked for, loved them, but I wanted to stay home. I like dogs, I like concerts, I like social life. You really can't have that when you're traveling 6 days a week.
So when you started Tier 3, then how did you have any customers starting out?
I did. First of all, I will say I'm very fortunate. If there were lucky breaks to get, I think I got them all.
That's good.
Atlanta Cardiology was my only customer, and Steve was the IT director there. And he wanted to move on. So he hired me to take that IT director job. And I said, Steve, I'm great with cardiology and Windows NT 4.0 and all that, but I don't know about, this has Microsoft Exchange, that they have dictation systems.
Right.
I don't know if I could do it. He's like, you can do it. He says, I'll be your consultant. Hire me back. Perfect. It was the best of both worlds. I had him.
Anytime you get stuck,
and he didn't have to work there.
Right.
Steve was the kind of guy that wanted to be in the room doing all the important stuff. He didn't want to help a user reboot their PC.
Right.
And I love the users.
Have you turned it on and off again?
Yeah, exactly. So I went out and I took that job and hired Steve back.
Uh-huh.
And that was in 2001. And in 2005, all the other doctors in the buildings were calling us because they were starting to look at EMR.
Okay.
And so Steve and I said, he had a large practice here on the south side that he worked with independently that I had set him up with from my medical manager days. And then I had Atlanta Cardiology. And we said, let's come together.